Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Conscious Leadership podcast. I have Joanna with me, and I had to invite her because we had this amazing conversation like 3 years, I think 3 years ago. We met
Mhm.
and we talk, and absolutely accidentally, someone else introduced us again, like a few weeks ago. And we met again, and we look at each other, and we were thinking, wow, but we met already. So this is really funny. I found it very funny because we started to talk about the progress and how we experienced life within that 3 years when we didn't actually see each other. And I think it was fascinating. Like both of us started a little bit of spiritual journey, understanding more that the internal world is so important, that our thinking and our emotional state is so important for running the business. And I love the conversation. So I was thinking like, let's jump into conversation together here and let's share some of your journey. So welcome here. I'm so happy you find the time to spend time with me here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really grateful to spend this lovely time with you and your audience.
Thank you very much, Joanna. So I will probably ask you first, and question that I always ask. Tell my audience what you do, who you are.
Right. Okay. It's an interesting question. Um, because previously when someone asked me this question, I would tell them what business do I do, what do I do, and what I provide, this and that. But whenever someone is asking me this question now, I my conscious answer is just I am myself. I'm doing my mission day in, day out. And my mission is around helping teams and the members to grow. And that's why I'm here this lifetime. Sounds a bit weird, right? But you have the good foundation that because we're both on a spiritual journey. So probably the answer is a bit weird for a lot of people, but that's how I am right now. It's in a state, it's about being myself. Doing something is no longer a that very important part of the focus. I'm just naturally doing it, what I'm doing. But in saying that, in the earth way that we wanted to ground it with an answer is that in the manifest material world, what I actually do my mission with the teams and members for growth is that we're providing strategic outsource service for the business owners because that embody all the time of about how to work with the team, how to help everyone to grow, how to help the business to grow. In a nutshell, I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I love that your business is a little bit different. I actually didn't meet a lot of people doing it. So you're providing basically all the stuff that people can have and they don't need to actually employ them. And for me, that's amazing. So you can actually put together a few different roles, a few different tasks that people need help with. And especially when you look at small business, right? It's so important because not every small business have straight away budget for, 5 or 4 employees. So it's such a great opportunity to work with you and your team and actually provide 4 or 5 different roles in basically package of one contractor almost or two, right? So it is absolutely amazing. And I want to understand because I know a little bit of your journey, but I think it's interesting, when we start business, we're changing and we're growing. So I would love you to explain a little bit more of your background and how did you actually ended up doing what you're doing?
Okay, thank you for asking. Right, so like Alex mentioned, that our model sounds very different and unique, and that actually literally came from my background. And I believe that whatever we experience, there's a reason behind it, right? Because when I start my business as a financial planner, I need a lot of support. Especially, I'm not DIY style. I have a lot of things that I'm not good at, like marketing or IT, especially, right? And then I feel struggled and then frustrated. How can I get move forward? I was a professional. At the meantime, I need to do business, but I don't know certain things how to do it. Of course, at the time, I was a bit lack of motivation to learn a bit more in those areas. At the same token, I had a business coach actually did exercise on our competence, incompetence, our what is excellence and genius zones, right? So I did my exercise and then find out, all right, definitely IT and marketing is my incompetence. So that I'm so sad, and I just bang, I need to delegate them, otherwise they're stressing me out, right? So, and gradually, the interesting enough, I found out my financial planning was only lying in my competence part. So, competence part is more like I'm good at it, but I don't have the inner drive and the passion
Passion,
about it. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Yeah. And then I dive deeper. Then I realized, oh, maybe I need to let go. It's around how to reshape my journey because there was something missing in my heart. So I gradually, but anyway, I started that business, worked with the VAs, had a lot of challenges and hurdles, working with them and hand over streamline the process. At the end of the day, what I find out is all those challenges and hurdles actually shape who I am today. Because from there, I understand a lot of business, like where I was then. I need a lot of support from back end. I have different skills I needed. However, I don't have enough budget to hire full time or
Yeah.
even part time group of people with me. So a kind of I was a problem solver, find out I like to be creative to find the solutions. So I kind of formed a star team that around my business at the time. Everyone is specialized in the areas, and I could customize a team based on what I need for my business. Then I thought, hang on, if I'm in this position, would that mean that other people in my similar position will need this kind of help? Why don't I share my resources, the solution I found with others? And that's how I started Operations Genius and this business. Yes, that's literally how I started this one. And as you mentioned, it's a solution of as a pool of talent. And for us, it's like a toolbox. We can go there to pick one, two, three, four skills, and the team will be customized from our end, handling all the handover training, whatever internal stress. You don't need to worry about it, and we get it done. The main thing is that we wanted to provide flexibility to within the budget for the business owners. Like you can start as 5 hours a week and increase and reduce and even pauses, depends on the workload. So that's
Mm.
the solution we actually come up with from that experience. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. And look, it's I can tell probably already 50-60% of people that are listening, they're like, oh wow, this is great. I need this. So I will probably just jump into, because you mentioned something that really I'm really interested. You mentioned that, that sometimes we can have competence and we can be very great in something, but
Mm.
there is something missing. And a lot of people are, great in something because also they study, they learn, they have experience, but they realize at some point in life, but there is not the fire. Like there's not something that really feels me. And like just, having that really beautiful energy when you're in flow and love and having passion. So
Mm.
I'll probably ask that, like, I believe that's why you do the business you do, right? So I don't need to ask you a question why you do what you do, but I will be curious, how do we know? Like, how did you know, or what part of was passion? What part of it was passion or become passion?
Wow, right. Great questions. That actually reminds me, a few days ago, there was International Women's Day, right? And I actually had with my group of spiritual friends, we had a community event for how to care for us as a queen. This is the title, but actually, essentially, is a topic about a self-love. And on our spiritual mentor actually give us a gift about how to self-love first step is to respect our own free will. And how to do that? She said, respect our own feelings. That's the answer actually for your question. A lot of
Wow.
time when we do things, we all from here, we have a lot of experience, trainings and knowledges, all those sort of things in here. We feel like well, we can do this.
Mind, yeah. Mm.
But a lot of time we will have some feeling missing here, like we neglect it. And
Yeah.
after a certain period of time, we become numb about it. And I will just keep doing what we think that we're good at and gradually lost the inner drive. But actually, from my own experience and also answer your question, actually everything starts from feeling of here again.
Mm.
Yeah, and a
That's
numbness can be does take some time to really remove it. However, probably the simple step is to really be conscious, like what you all often probably collaborate with others, is to be conscious with our emotion first. Any simple emotions, be aware of it exists and don't resist. And because I used to be like that, when I'm angry or sad or whatever, I say, oh, it happens, and I just get away from it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
and
don't actually
you were very similar. We
sorry.
were very pragmatic in our head all the time. Because I remember
Yeah,
when we met, right? When we met first time, we were like, no, on the spiritual path. That was very interesting, right? We were like
very
two
logical. Bang, bang, bang.
two business women talking. Okay, is there anything that we can do together? Okay, but it was no like, is there any alignment? Is there any good feeling, bad feeling? Like we didn't even care. I remembered it like now. It was just so logical, right? Like it was, or not logical. It was more analytical. Like it was black and white, right? Very. linear, I guess. A very, very
Right.
different conversation I can have today with you. And yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, spot on.
So,
100%.
so I
Yeah.
love I love to like what you show when you were pointing out. I just want to tell for people they actually listening and they're not watching video. So you were talking about mind or that analytical space that we run our life from that space and less from heart. So the major thing is actually to come back to our heart, right? To the feelings. And look, I see that as a big missing part in business growth because I believe that that is missing part for creating something more than just normal average business. I believe that is when things really start to change for people and they start to get these extremely amazing, beautiful results. So I'm totally with you on that part. And I would
Mm.
like to know because you're working with a lot of small business owners mostly, right? They want to grow, scale, they want to have that kind of a team of people and they need help. So what do you see as a major kind of thing that they are lacking, maybe in leadership, maybe in business in general?
Well, I think all the businesses maybe have a different stages. Even with myself, a leadership journey is a journey, right? I started to be as a doer, gradually become delegator, and gradually become supervisor, and then become manager, and now I step into the leadership. So it is a journey. It really depends on which period the business owner themselves experiencing. So probably if we spread into three steps, right? Let's just make a big assumption, right? So first group can be like they just step out from the professional field and into the world and then start their own business. A lot of people, the blockage can be how can I actually trust others to do something that I'm so good at, right? Like,
That
but
is such a good point. And that is,
yeah,
I found that as the hardest part when people need to understand that, wow, this person may maybe do even a little bit worse job than I, but I need them, right? Like I need actually to delegate because sometimes it's fine, like if it's slower, one person can be slower than you, but because it's your business, you're usually fastest and you are usually the best. So you expect everybody needs to be the best.
yeah,
It's tough.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the biggest blockage is on the mindset part is about whether I train someone now or do it by myself. There's a lot of things, even within our teams. Someone used to be an excellent doer. They just like I just so fast do it by myself. I have to
Yes.
spend time to train others. I think in this term, perspective probably is just focus on whether you focus on a short-term goal or for the long-term vision. That's
Yeah.
the main thing. If you're looking for the long term, spend a little bit of time. It's like a planting the seeds. It does take a bit of time to nurture, right? But for the future, you can grow into a big tree that can really provide a
Absolutely.
shade for more people instead of your little plant just jumping by yourself, right? And feeling drained and
Uh,
limited. Yeah, so that's the main shift if we visualize the difference.
yeah, I love.
That's sort of, yeah, that's for the first stage. Do you want to dive a little bit more on the first stage, or you wanted to go into the next two
I
stages?
think yeah. Let's go to other one. Then is what do you have in mind? Like where is when is the next stage? What when people want to scale when they have already the team. So what
Mm-hmm.
is happening there?
Yeah. So, and the next stage can be really shifting from. I now probably that they're really good at delegating now. They started to have other people come on
Yeah.
board, one or two people, and the biggest blockages is that um, it's about how to say about the titling, like giving the directions with the support. A lot of time because a lot of us will transition from title leader to service leader. That's different stages because we are the managers, we're the founders, the CEOs. We give you the command, bang, you do it, right? Now I know how to delegate. Do it, do it, do it. From sometimes if we keep doing this, it's a quite muscular the muscular energy is like a go 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 get it.
Yeah.
But a lot of time probably like a little bit patience or compassion for the others, and
Yeah.
sometimes it can be out of if something is not out of our expectations, we get frustrated and the whole environment is get congruent like getting worse. So I think that the mind shift is whether you wanted to be just like a title leader or you wanted to gradually shift into a service
Yeah.
leader. Yeah, I think that's a mindset change. stage as
Mm,
well. And with the team grow into bigger and bigger, and more sub leaders coming up on the team, that's the last stage, which is I'm still developing. Is to our mindset is about how to develop more leaders and empower others to become a leader to guide further, because that's actually scaling up the process, right? So
yeah.
it's from a service leader becoming a spiritual leader, and that's the boundary about how can we become balanced
Mm,
with this boundary with compassion. It's a
yeah.
balance part. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and I
it's the
think
different
that
stages.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I can see it from that perspective is because a lot of leaders are already in a space where they have, big teams and they have big business for 20, 30 years. But now, with knowing everything about leadership, they want to actually move to less directorial, or what is that, directorship? Probably that's the better way. So they want to move from the directorship to more leadership or compassion or mindfulness, and really start to work with people and take them on the journey where they can personally grow as well. And I think that is the hard moment when people realize that, yeah, we have values, but we never really aligned with values. So how I'm taking people, that we will be all aligned with what we truly believe in, but same time, we need to be focused on KPIs and results and strategies. So I think the balance of that well-being and wellness and mindfulness together with KPIs, I think that's what people now find a lot of challenges in, because it's something new, and for some
Yeah.
companies it's not, but for some companies it's very new kind of way of leading the company, like you need to take care of people different ways. So I feel like, yeah, absolutely can see how confusing that can be when they actually need to change the basically leadership style, right? Like it's totally new leadership style. So when you thinking about your products or services you offer, right? So you mentioned that you have different people and they can combine the skills and they can have their support. So how that if you can give me some example, maybe how you actually helping people to create the right team, and maybe some example of results or something that you achieve with your clients.
Hmm. Okay, so I probably give you example for two kind of different categories. One is like a solopreneurs, the other one probably B2B service, right? So one of the example solopreneurs can be professionals, consultants, coaches when they start business on their own. And a lot of time, the most challenges they can face is that I only have this much time, and my passion is actually spend time with my clients, not answering the phones, entering the invoices, all those designs. So how can I do it? Majority of them start with the PA and EA, which is perfect. It's wonderful because they need someone to work closely with them. After they actually work with this PA and EA for a certain period of time, they find this PA and EA is perfect, right? Like they can do everything. However, if I want to dive deeper into certain areas, they are generalists, they're not specialists, right? So
Yeah.
for example, building a website, how they know how to use simple tools to design put design together. But if there's like technical issues, how can they solve it? They will have their own bottleneck. It's just an example. So
Yeah.
from that perspective, they may start to think, oh, how can I find someone just solve this technical issue without hiring another full-time part-time staff? There's no solutions, right? No one wanted to do just 1 hour, 2 hour a week. Majority VA company, they don't provide that too. It's not really
Absolutely.
sustainable model. Yeah, example on that our team can actually support, because based on that, if we look at the gap, for example, you need some technical support, you need a account support, accounting, a bookkeeper, and also at the meantime you want to brush up your branding, better designer style. We can probably customer team and then slide in three skills straight away into the team. And this team, the budget can based on the business needs. Like I only need a 5 hours a week to focus on those.
Yeah.
Fine. And next week I have a webinar coming up. I need more hours. Fine. We have a capacity, right? Next week I'm going for holiday. I want to have a rest. Fine. Like you can pause it. So that's how we actually help business to solve that problem. That they
That's
actually
perfect.
can get more time and energy back to focus on their genius as business owners, as their key team members to focus on their genius
Yeah.
and do the things they love to do. Energy and time. B2B service business owners, another example. So a lot of B2B business owners, they already have a team. Like they have a few key team members in their business,
Yeah.
which is great. But what we common find the challenge, one thing is B2B business owners spend too much time on their clients. A lot of time forgot about themselves, including myself when I started, right? Because it's about a self-love issue, whatever. We look after others, and myself, I can't pick up my own stuff, my social media, my own momentum, those sort of things. So we wanted to actually step in to help business owners to relieve the stress from that, look after their own structure first. And then at the same token, one day actually start to have a lot of B2B business owners, they scared of taking on more clients. If I have more, I can't handle it, right? It's a capacity issue. So with our model, for example, what we can do is that we can first of all help business owner relieve from their stress to sort out their things. Because
Mm.
let's say if there's a team, there's a gaps, and you can't find a full-time, part-time just filling those gaps for 5 hours here, 2 hours there, and 3 hours here. It's very hard, right? There's no model, but
Yeah.
our model can do that. Yeah, so
Yeah.
if you need a little bit, you need a PA over here, you need admin there, you need a customer service there. There's a little pieces, and then we can just pick the customize again, fill in those gaps. So helping the
Perfect.
business owner relieving their own structure. Also, if they have a lot of clients coming up, we like a backup army because we already set up certain process procedure. Bang, we can go there to provide service and deliver the
Okay.
service.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So that's just
amazing.
example.
Yeah,
Mm,
and you know what? The through example, I think it just gives people a little bit more idea because I can see now gaps in my team, and I'm like, oh, maybe I need to fill this small gap and this small gap. So it's really nice to kind of see examples and think about it because you straight away put it on your business and you're thinking, okay, so I have this person, we have this covered. But exactly, there is probably something that comes up as a tech issue or as an optimization tech issue, so you want to fit in someone for a few hours. And because you
mm.
already have all the capacity and you can just, pick a few hours from your team, that will be perfect help for me as well. I will need to talk to you about that. So it's
Yeah, sure.
actually something that I was just looking for some different people for different tasks.
Mm,
So it will be really good just to, jump on board and just looking at it if there is some particular solution. And I love your example, so that's definitely helpful.
yeah.
I would love to know, okay, so when we going when you if you can go, okay, this is the question I really like to ask always. If you can go back um before when you started basically your business, when you are in the first day of your business, what you will tell yourself?
When I first start my business, what did I tell myself?
What would you like to tell yourself if you can do it again?
Oh, that's such a good question. You make me think. If I start my business again, what do I want to tell myself? Don't limit yourself with your previous experience. I was one of those person like that can be dragged down for my previous experience. Um, so like whatever happened before, I use my conception and feel like, oh, that's not right, that's right, and that's actually give myself a lot of limitations to go further.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
become the bottleneck.
We all
Yeah,
are at some point. I believe we all are bottleneck of our own business.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because throughout my
Mm.
life, I experienced all those things. I realized one thing after even, especially doing the spiritual work, whatever happens, it's just like a Tony Robbins said, it's happening for us. It's not happening to
To
us.
us,
There's a
yeah.
reason behind it. I realize every single thing we experience is a life lesson behind it. If we learn and from the experience and move on, that experience already serves its purpose. We don't need to be tagged and dragged into it as, oh, why did I do this? Be sad and frustrated. No, there's no point, right? Oh, yesterday I saw one sentence that's so good. It's from Carl Jung. Is I'm not what it has happened to me.
Mm.
I'm what I decided to choose to become. So
Yeah.
it's a decision. At the end of the day, it's a decision whether we want to be dragged by our previous or we make the shift towards to something new, learn from the past, move on, and grow. That's our choice. It's simple
Yeah.
as that. Very simple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we
Mm.
knew that when we started business, perfect, right? So
Yes.
I love that. That's very great, and I believe that will be helpful for a lot of people who are starting business right now. And just remembering that we are important in that business space, and we can make decisions. We can actually create whatever we want. We can decide whatever we want, but for some reason we think we can't. We can't because we don't have time. We can't because we don't have I don't know, we don't have the school, we don't have the right certification, or we are not in the right place, or we don't have budget, we always cut ourselves short, and we basically set up ourselves for almost failure, or for dragging the business slowly and long way. And it can
Mm,
be actually easy because there is resource everywhere, there are resources everywhere around us. And I always say, when you go into the room of people, there is always so much money on table, but we just didn't really had that in a school, right? Like how to pick it up, how to actually learn, how to do something together, and how to use each
mm,
other from perspective of give each other, that support. Because we as a business owners, we can help each other. We can help so much each other.
for sure.
We can use each
So
other's
true.
skills, right? And we can move each other forward. But for some reason, we just created this weird competitive environment, for ourselves. So I feel like that's another path, to learn, and just really just being together and collaborate. So thank you so much for sharing that. I love what you shared. I think it's really helpful. And at the end, I would love to, because I'm sure this resonated with a lot of people. So anyone who's listening and is thinking to connect with Joanna, where they can find you.
Oh, just simply connect me on LinkedIn. I think maybe Alex can pass my LinkedIn link
I will do it. I will
with the
do
show
it.
notes. Yeah, yeah. Just connect me on LinkedIn. Love to connect with all of you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing everything, and all your growth is absolutely amazing. Just to see when we met and when we met again, how actually we can
Yeah.
become new people and how we can become different. So I love it. And thank you so much for that reflection, because it was really nice to see that. Thank you,
Thank you so
everyone.
much for spending time. Thank you, everyone.